Whenever you're creating a form, there are times when you don't want the user to type in whatever they want to. And the checkbox is a good example of that, but we're going to explore another example of that, and that's under this shipped via area. In this situation, there are 3 specific shipping vendors that I want to allow. I don't want people to just type in anything that they think might be appropriate. I can't use a checkbox because that would only be on or off. Yes, shipped via, but by whom? Instead, what I want to use is either a combo or a list box. And we'll start with the combo box. So I'll select that tool from the Forms toolbar, click and drag to place my combo box. Then I'll start editing its properties. Of course, the first property is going to be its name. And normally I'll put a tooltip in and adjust the appearance, but I really want to focus on the options because the options allow me to set which shipping vendors are available via the combo box. So we'll start with the IPS, the International Package Service. If I want there to be an export value, in other words, if I'm going to be submitting the data from this form to a database, then I can enter that, and I'll click Add. If I want to add a second one, PPS, Package Plus Services, and I'll enter its export value and click Add. And last but not least, OPC, the Overlords of Packaging Company, enter its export value and click Add. And if I like, I can click on each one of them to preview it in the combo box. As I click it, I can see its preview over here. I can also reorder them, and let's say that OPC is the one that most people are going to use, so this will sort of become its default value. I'm going to move it up in the stack so that it's the first item in the list. Let's say that I want to allow somebody to enter the name of a courier that they choose that isn't listed in the Ship via combo box. I can allow them to enter custom text. I don't want to, so I'll turn that off, but it's something that I can allow them to do. And if I do that and I turn check spelling on and they misspell something in there, the red squiggly line will underline that thing that they've written in there that has been misspelled. I'm going to turn that off because a lot of times company names and things like that aren't in Acrobat's dictionary, so I don't want to check the spelling there. To test this, I'll click Close, and we'll come over to the preview. And to see how a combo box works, all I need to do is click on the little button here, and I can see that the choices that I've made are available. So if I want to choose IPS, I click on that, and then IPS shows here, and it becomes the export value for this form element. This is a combo box. It works very similarly to a list box, but let me show you the difference. I'll create a list box that does the same thing, and I'll place it up here. So I'll jump out of preview mode, select the list box tool, and I'll click and drag up here. It works pretty much the same way. I have a list of items, so we'll choose IPS, PPS, and OPC. Click Add. I'll close this one. We'll jump over to preview mode here, and it doesn't look like I have anything to choose from until I click on it. Then I get a little interface that I can use to make my choice. Frankly, I tend to prefer the combo box because it's pretty clean and pretty obvious what needs to happen here. The list box depends on the user sort of knowing to click in here, and sometimes that can be confusing, so that's why I tend to use the combo box. Of course, it's your preference, and because they pretty much work the same way, you'll get the same results. I'm going to reselect the list box tool and click this to delete it because I don't want it there. Now, there's one more property here that I want to cover. I'll jump back to the combo box tool and double click to open the properties. I'm going to lock this. Locking it doesn't actually make it so that I can't fill in information. I'll click Close, go back to Preview, and you can see that I can still use it. What locking it does for me is, through the process of creating this form, it's easy to accidentally move something or change something about the form. So while it's locked, I can't move it. I've clicked and I'm trying to drag it around and I can't move it. If I double click on it, I can't change any of the properties other than to unlock it. Once I've unlocked it, then I have access to all of the properties again. And as you build a form up and it becomes more and more complex and there are elements on the page that you want to protect, it's a good idea as you go to lock them in place, and then if you need to unlock them to make edits you can, but you won't accidentally make a change that you didn't intend to make.